Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV DataFile. Northern Sky Research has released an interesting industry briefing regarding the US defence budget cuts. Interesting because according to NSR, upon closer examination of the details, the budget may not be decreasing as outlined over the short term. Even if the announced cuts are indeed undertaken in the short term, or even the longer term, commercial SATCOMs would appear to be unaffected, and may in fact stand to benefit in terms of increased demand from the proposed cuts. In January, US Defense Secretary Robert Gates announced plans to cut $78 billion in defense spending over 5 years, including a reduction of up to 47,000 troops. These cuts are in addition to last year's $100 billion cost savings drive in efforts to eliminate waste, cut poorly performing weapons programs, and redirect funds to other priorities. However, NSR believes closer inspection of the detail reveals some interesting data. Firstly, troop cuts as announced will take place starting in 2015. This means that defence spending for war efforts can and will likely continue to grow through 2014, before levelling off in 2015 and 2016. In fact, the $553 billion budget request for 2012 actually represents a relatively modest increase over the current fiscal year's $549 billion. For commercial SATCOMs that are currently used by ground troops, demand should continue to grow at modest levels for the next 4 years. Secondly, the 2012 Pentagon budget request excludes war funding specifically for Iraq and Afghanistan. This means that cuts for specific programs will not apply to the two hotspots, which has seen continued growth for SATCOMs. Indeed, most of the government-military growth commercial SATCOMs as seen in 2001 can be attributed to developments in Iraq and Afghanistan as well as Pakistan, which is directly related to missions against the Taliban. Therefore, NSR believes that on top of expected modest increases on the overall budget, war funding should continue at current, if not higher levels through 2015 and perhaps beyond. Thirdly, a large percentage of budget cuts will come from inefficient programs, and funds available will be redirected to other programs. A key program highlighted for support by Secretary Gates includes unmanned aerial systems. This is where the long-term picture comes in. Even if budget cuts proceed beginning in 2016 or even earlier, and the majority of troops are withdrawn from Iraq and Afghanistan, UAS missions will not only continue but increase substantially as ground forces will have to be replaced by other means to gather intelligence. The UAS roadmap outlined by the Pentagon calls for a variety of new vehicles and capabilities, including the ability to cluster up to 12 cameras that can send up to 65 different images to different users, compared to today's capability of shooting video from a single camera over a limited area. According to Northern Sky Research, commercial SATCOMs have played a key role in the war effort. More importantly, commercial SATCOMs and the commercial industry are beginning to play more important functions in defence matters, where the relationship with the Pentagon is not only more linked, but is becoming more complex as the solution mix has moved away from simply providing bandwidth to provisioning more end-to-end solutions and services.